All right, kiddos, gather round. Story time. So, some of you may or may not remember my snake story. Not that long ago, I was thinking a lot about, talking a lot about snakes, symbolism, and just wondering, asking questions, positing some answers. Suffice it to say, snakes were on my mind a lot. And then, right around that same time, my wife woke me up in the middle of the night because a boa had crawled up and cuddled my leg. I guess it was cold. How he got there, I don't know. We figured maybe my cat had brought it, even though it didn't have any, injuries, scars, puncture wounds, or anything like that. And, our cats are savages. It probably would have at least sampled the damn thing. But there it was, intact, cuddling my leg in the middle of the night. And before I was able to identify it as pretty much harmless, well, I wasn't. But fully cognizant of the fact that there was a snake cuddling me. Something that has never happened before. It's not like there's just snakes all over here and this happens. No, it's never happened, right? I wasn't scared. I wasn't freaked out. And one of the questions I was pondering was, well, is this something bad? Probably a little simplistic and maybe a little, well, very dualistic and kind of, maybe I was asking the wrong question, right? Are these things good? Are they bad? I don't know. But there it was, right? Innocuous, just wanted to cuddle. And I wasn't at all afraid. So, was it me thinking about snakes that somehow, some way convinced my cat to bring me one? Or some way, shape, or form called out, attracted a snake to show up? I don't know. There was more to that story than that. Another animal was involved. But we'll leave it at that. One time, in San Francisco, we were riding bicycles, and my friend had just rubbed me the wrong way, pushed my buttons, and I had a knife on me. So I rode up behind him. Don't worry. I didn't stab him too hard. Just kidding. I just kind of rode up behind him, and the thought occurred to me, I'm just going to put a hole in his tire, right? So I pulled out the knife, and I made a motion of puncturing his tire, but I didn't even come within 10 inches of the damn thing, right? I just wanted to get him, right? I put that energy out there. I just wanted to get him. A block later, he got a flat tire. I could go on giving you these weird stories that I remember from my childhood, and ever since then, these things that just happen that I can't quite explain, right? But just the other day, my friend brought over this nutrition consultant manual just for shits and giggles for me to look at and maybe use as kindling if I feel like it one day, right? So we were just kind of talking about this. The book was as you see it here, and I was asking him, because he had taken a look at this thing, I asked him, what's this manual's position on cholesterol, right? Do they put or push rather, the diet, what is it called? Diet fat hyper, the cholesterol nonsense, right? Or are they more woke and hip to what the truth is actually, right? And he wasn't sure, but whatever answer he gave me. The conversation from there went on to, I wonder if they talk about low cholesterol and tendency to do crime, right? With people who have low cholesterol, so on and so forth, right? And then I said to him, I wonder if the shit they spray up there, right? Chemtrails. I wonder if that maybe has something to do with them wanting us to be more violent. They're spraying some chemical out there that they believe will make us violent and create, discord, havoc. Just a little theory I had because we were talking about cholesterol and violence, right? Maybe that's the connection was, well, somebody probably does know that cholesterol is good for us, but they're telling us not to eat cholesterol because it makes us violent, prevents us from organizing, right? Being rational and organized and calm, right? Reasonable. And it's just a means of controlling us and justifying, passing some of these draconian laws because, we cannot be trusted. We're always misbehaving, so, so on and so forth. And from there, I went to question if maybe what they're spraying up there has something to do with that also, right? Potentially, right? There are various theories trying to make us sick, so on and so forth. But at the time, that was the connection I drew from low cholesterol, crime, and chemtrails. So we're just talking. This book is like that. And I bookmarked it now, but I just did this, right? I did this and I opened the book like that. And this was, my eye just went right there. I mean, it's kind of smack dab in the middle, right? And it said strontium. And I remember these conspiracy theorists talking about how that's one of the chemicals that's in chemtrails, according to somebody's research, right? And I know this was like very controversial, and obviously you have these debunkers saying that it's just a conspiracy theory and it's BS. There is no strontium in, which is a potentially a radioactive particle, right? There is none of that in the chemtrails, right? It's just a conspiracy theory. They don't contain any of that. So I went from chemtrails and questioning what's in them or what reason there may be for them. Grabbed this book, opened it up just randomly as I'm saying this, and this is where it led me, right? Now, a lot of people would say coincidence, right? I mean, if that was the only thing like that ever happened, then maybe you could sell me on that. But that's so uninteresting, and it doesn't really explain anything, right? Coincidence, I mean, you could say that about anything. Is it really? I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say chemtrails contain strontium, and this is proof, right? Now, nobody would accept that as proof, right? But it's proof enough for me, right? I'm not trying to convince anybody. I'm just sharing my experience. But I guess the point of the story is that there are a lot of things happening, that we cannot explain. And I think we have certain abilities that have been lost or forgotten or maybe never even discovered in the first place. And I think There are organized groups out there who don't want us to know who we truly are and the abilities that we possess, the things that we can do. Right? So when I talk about intuition, right, as being valid, a valid way of knowing, understanding, navigating the world, right? That's small potatoes. Everyone should know that, right? But what's so shocking is that so many people don't even have that. Whereas many of us claim to have it trusted because it works. It's tried and true and scientifically proven to work, right? With more than 50% accuracy. We get a feeling about something and it or people, and we're a lot more often than not, we are correct, right? So we trust our intuition. And a lot of people don't have that, or they just don't trust it. They've never developed this sort of sense, right? And it's a very rational thing. We may not be able to connect the dots how we go about trusting, knowing, using intuition. But there are signals that certain kind of people, let's say shady motherfuckers, criminals, right? People who do things that we don't like. They put those signals out there, and it takes us but a couple of instances, maybe 3, to learn how to see and avoid these signals, those people, right? Without even maybe realizing on some subconscious level, picking up on these signals and saying to ourselves, nah, that person, nah, walk away, go the other way, right? But that's small potatoes, man. Small potatoes. A lot of us feel we have it. Some people completely and utterly reject it. Maybe because they don't. Maybe because they haven't trained it, right? But I think a lot of us could agree that it exists. My question is, right? This is basic shit, intuition. It's very much rational, if not necessarily conscious. So you could explain it maybe. But my question is, what else can we do that we don't know we can? I wonder. Thanks for watching.